Hello, everyone, wherever you are. Scotland, yes, Australia, welcome to all of you. And welcome to the Advancement Center. And thank you for joining me up here on our elevated platform of living, where we all belong. The higher vibration matches the magic, miracles, and music that we all know and have known forever. We are the connoisseurs of life. My salutation to you each week is, dear family. And I look forward to hosting you in person here at Celebration House. We often speak of you and celebrate the deep friendships that have formed and acknowledge that we all must be on the lookout for others who are out there hunting for their divine selfhood. Don't hesitate to share what you have found here at the Advancement Center. Let me know, and I will gift them their first broadcast. That would be wonderful, because this is not just for a select few, just those who are awake. Now, on Friday, David promised that our beautiful new world is right in front of us. And it is. He also said, keep going and don't look back. And that was interesting for me, because there was so much to look back to. But he said, don't look back. My life has been dedicated to sharing Robert's message. My own story is a life of world travel, performing, exciting adventures, but that is in the rear view vision mirror. And David said, don't look back. So both Robert and I have had all our worldly possessions go their separate ways. Actually, that's what happened. And nothing is lost. Last week, I spoke a little bit about I am a camera. And I started to use that camera to look at myself. And it's interesting. No judgment, no selectivity, no alteration. It's just where I focus. And that's exactly what I do when I take a picture of a magnificent sunset here in Santa Barbara, or a flower, or a moment. I love capturing the moment. That's who I am. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm capturing moments with you. And then I realized that what do all the kids do? They talk about their future. Well, focusing on the future is definitely the sign of youth. And we have a long story of the recent past, and beyond that, our origin. Wow. So that's where I focus. And what's happened is that every week I've been talking about infinite trust. And I now realized it has become my companion. all the time. And that is the whole message. In fact, I told Robert he was the first person I ever really trusted. There was always something that I wanted that was more than was being said. So, infinite trust is living and viable at all times. And of course, the best example is a baby is born, and infinite trust is intact. Everything is celebrated until, and I wrote these few words that came out, a baby is born. Well, I remember my mother used to sing to me all the time, baby, baby, where have you come from, baby dear? Out of the everywhere into here. She had something. So this baby is born, a godsend, a miracle, infinite trust intact. Discovery is constant, self and surroundings. Mobility increases all the time. Every action received and calibrated. Everything is new and everyone smiles. That's the baby's world. Until expectation and judgment enter with family history, growth charts, good and bad, medical reports. Trust parents, teachers, the policeman, the doctor. We give away our trust at great cost. The moment we see through the lie of what our teacher says, coming from her own slant through the curtain, the children perceive their world all around them all the time. And it's for us to maintain that trust for them. That is why I believe I get so excited about Swiss Indo, to return that trust to the people. There's a wonderful, let's see what I have here. It's so much fun getting ready for you. There's a wonderful book, Hope for the Flowers. I might have mentioned it before, but it is that miraculous story of how this little caterpillar, crawling around very slowly, climbs up, goes to sleep, and becomes a butterfly. That's a very important story. And we have to take care not to step on a caterpillar and allow the butterfly. So we have to allow each and every one of us to transform until we all fly. Now, as the director of health and well-being, I felt that it was time to share with you our mission. And it'll point to exactly why I got involved and why I invited Vidi Jones, Mohammed Khalid, Margie Barrows, Christina Nicole. They're all part of our team. And this is what we stand for. The NIHA, that stands for, we don't like acronyms, they're filled here, the National International Humanity Assistance. And that's the Health and Wellbeing Ministry. And the mission is to provide authentic health direction and support to the world, to guide and support the world's most vulnerable peoples in survival and recovery, to regain control of their health and well-being, This includes providing transparent leadership with only one focus: the overall health and well-being of every single human being on the planet. We aim to make measurable improvements in health choices and health, safety, education, economic well-being, and provide sustainable outcomes, creating an improved quality of life for all humanity. We are committed to improving performance in health and well-being through aiding the access of nutritious foods, curative natural medicines, and encouraging the adoption of healthy lifestyles. To turn strategy into action, the NIHA, you remember that acronym, the National International Humanitarian Assistance, will invest to use resources efficiently while responding swiftly to people's needs. The philosophy which underpins this commitment is one of self-help and individual responsibility within an organized framework that promotes and supports superior practices to address key risks to health and encourage a healthy lifestyle culture. Due to the fact that the pharmaceutical medical industry has created a world wherein the practice of holistic health is a criminal offense and natural healing illegitimate, NIHA's Health and Wellbeing Branch is working to restructure and balance the distribution of natural health information, traditional and natural healthcare, along with today's proven holistic healing modalities. A new balance between allopathic and natural medicine will be established by creating a world alliance of natural health and well-being. This alliance of seasoned natural health practitioners and doctors will usher in a new era, offering sustainable health for all. And that is why we have become so proud of what we're doing. And what we are doing for all of those people who are new on the call today, you've all heard this information before, but for those joining us for the first time, welcome. And I recommend that you check out two websites. Swisindo News, where you will download the M1 voucher that looks just like this. You've seen it 100 times, and you can't see it enough. And that's where you put your passport picture, your thumbprint in the lower right corner. Do not sign it. Do not put your social security number, and put it in a safe place. And Susan Terry, the Secretary General of our ministry, gave everyone on her Christmas list an M1 voucher. Now, what is this M1 voucher going to give you? Well, when the time is right, and I'll certainly let you know, you take that into the bank and you set up an account, and Swisindo will pay you for your basic needs. And they figure it will be $1,200 a month for life. And each person has $6 million set aside in their account. And I'll tell you about the account because you're going to join the World Bank group. And that's how they're going to pay you. And I also, that's for adults 17 and up. And any school-age child will be receiving $600 a month until they become adults. So that will help a family. Can you imagine all of a sudden? And when we first started this, Vidi and I got so excited because we said every homeless person must have an M1 voucher. So why not print up a whole bunch of them and have it with you all the time? And when you get into conversation with someone, as you should, I have, they're amazing people. Tell them to put it in a safe place because we really want everyone taken care of. Now, the other one is the human, no, it's the debt burden liberation certificate. And that looks like this. That's going to be on the same website. As you scroll down, you'll see this. It's called Acceptable Certificate. Very official. Now, what's going to happen here is download that, put it in a safe place, and I'll let you know when you can take that to the bank. And what it is that every debt you incurred before 2016 is already paid. And you say, how? Well, they have been trading on your identity since the day you were born and making a lot of money. And then on top of that, you went to banks and you took out a loan and you paid it back with interest. That is all going to be returned to you. And the exciting part of that is even corporations will have their debt burden liberated up to the amount of $2 billion each. And the individual debt burden liberation has up to 2 billion rupiah. That's the Indonesian currency. And they say that it's going to be on par with the US dollar. That's exciting. I'll take anything. Robert and I went out and we bought rupiah because we know this is going to happen. Even countries will be getting debt burden relief to the tune of 138,990 billion. And banks? Yeah, them, the banksters. They're going to get so much money that they don't even care about their customers and bothering them anymore because they're going to get 138,990 billion. So you see, Swissindo is going to supply and support all of those factions that have been encroaching on our liberties. They will be supported, and so much will be gained. And we'll begin to see the peace that has been promised. And then, of course, there's the Venus Project. And this will be the construction of the universe with the absolute up-to-date work of every bit of the best science and technology for a global society based on human and environmental concern will soon be ours to enjoy. Did I say that right? At any rate, this is a comprehensive plan for a global society based on human and environmental concern. And it will be ours very soon. And Collectively, this is known as the World Solution Gift. So here we go again. Things are not getting worse, they're getting uncovered. We must hold each other tight and continue to pull back the veil and see each other as we truly are. Now, I talked about only the youth dream and think and plan for the future. Well, that's all of us. And what do I see? I see Swissindo being successful. I see Honorable Bapak released from jail. I think it's all tied in with what Trump is doing. And Robert and I have been hearing some really good reports. And I also see a celebration of diversity. Yes, and a world of peace and creating and beauty and ushering in the golden age that has been promised forever. And in this medium of light and harmony, life carries each and every one of us to our joy that we were promised just before we entered this realm. And I also see an ever-expanding platform. This platform that we stand upon each week, 3 times a week. And I see it expanding. And expanding so far that it covers the planet. That's wonderful. And on this ever-expanding platform is music. And I've always loved this. Music is master, universal sound, or magical universal sound, immaculately conceived. So, welcome to your world of magic and miracles. When I first met Robert, I was introduced to Simeon. Robert would bring him in, and I loved this transmission and looked forward to it every morning. Then one morning, there was no transmission. What happened? And Robert said, well, he's your friend. You bring him in. And I did. And every morning since, I write his message, and I invite you to do the same. You bring him in. You receive Simeon's message. And I realize at this moment, that is my message to you, to share that wonder and joyous beginning of every day. And every day I hear, good morning. Now I'm reading from something that I posted on Facebook. And it was heartening to see how many people have read it and loved it. So I'm just going to read the first portion because it's so wonderful, just in case you missed it. Good morning. This is Simeon coming to you from the outer reaches of the universe, bringing you energies to support your day and to take you further into the world of your Creator. The more we speak, the more familiar you become with what we talk about. It's not the words, it is what's behind the words. And now we continue showing you the way to take up the energies that we deliver to your world. We talk about bringing you energies to support your day. And this is exactly what we do. There is an opening of all the channels, and then there is a secondary opening of specific channels to make sure that you are able to gather more each day and take yourself to wherever you need to go. The message is brief, but it is at a depth that stays with you throughout the day and for many days to follow. And if there is time, I will read the rest because it is so wonderful. And what he's talking about here, we will be visiting later with self-healing. So I'll put that in a special place. So now we're looking ahead and listening to the future as we are living a life of magic and miracles in a totally random field of the earth and its celestial partners. And this dance and this music is taking us away from the troubled world and holding us there forever. That's my wish for all of you. Now we come to a really special, they're all special, but this is chapter 5 of There Is Another Way. The light-hearted elegance that comes with being on top of the world is quickly forgotten when an event changes into a disaster, and it is sometimes difficult to know how to return to that elegance. This is important stuff. We come from a world of magic and miracles, and everyone responds to simplicity, particularly if it holds a little mischief and magic. If you hold a picture of a trampoline and dare to consider it as something significant in your life, it is easy to let your mind go wild when I say, there are 2 ways to live your life, under the trampoline or on top of it. Your decision. It is as simple as that. This picture is as powerful as it seems, and no one asks any more questions about how this happens. If you are under the trampoline every time you attempt to get up, you are thrown back on the ground. If you are on top of the trampoline and things are getting you down, you simply relax and you will bounce into the air and leave it all behind. For those who are familiar with the surf, it is fitting to be told to dive under the wave and wait for the turmoil to pass, or to get on top of the wave and use the turmoil to carry you to wherever you want to go. It is possible to ride the wave of circumstance and be isolated from whatever might be generating the circumstance in the same way that you would ride the train if it arrived at a convenient time. The wave and the train. He carries us everywhere. The fact that you do not have to live on the train allows you to isolate yourself from many things that you would not accept in your life. There is no need to fix everything or even criticize when it is outside your domain or capability. Allow the wave to be a wave and simply enjoy the ride. If you get in the middle of the wave, you will not enjoy the ride. The simplicity of bouncing on the trampoline or inflating the special suit that lifts you to the top of the wave is all that is needed to instigate the movement you need to lift you out of turmoil and place you in a clear space where you can see and feel on top of the world. There are many unique and simple switches that will take your being to where it operates through the perfection of the world of your creator. Simplicity and observation of what happens is all that the hidden part of your operating system needs to fulfill the magical task that you require. You can turn on your happy switch anytime you wish because it is not connected to any condition of your body or your world. If you turn it on, it goes on and never fails. If you turn it off, you will find that you are attempting to blackmail yourself or some person or system into changing before you will turn it on again. I've known a few of those. In any case, it is totally under your control, and it is there to enable you to switch worlds at a moment's notice. A child knows exactly where to look when he or she is asked to pray. The exact positioning of the eyes looking upward is known by everyone. It opens a unique channel to the divine and quiets every part of your being to allow immediate communication. If you take the sound of the letter E, as in cheese, and stand in front of a few people while singing the sound at a slightly elevated frequency with a smile on your face, it won't take long before everyone bursts into laughter. All the limitations and restrictions around you are totally shattered, and laughter fills your world without even seeking your permission. In many of our childhood games, we demonstrate how we can break the expectations of science and make things happen that have no known explanation. You might remember 5 or 6 of you pressing down on a friend who was sitting in a chair for a minute or so, and then suddenly letting go and lifting the friend and the chair several feet in the air, using one finger each under the seat of the chair. Even gravity can be confounded by the human entity if the external circumstances are set to switch that unknown capability to your advantage. All these examples give credence to the magic of simplicity, and the observation of this reality will, on each occasion, allow your personal supercomputer to be a part of your everyday life so that it may grow its power and serve the mystery of another way. Mm. Thank you for being here and here. Nothing gives me more joy than sharing what I know to be true, what I have lived. And hopefully, this will spread. Now we're going back to Ken Farber's house and that self-healing workshop that Robert gave to so many people who were so responsive then. And as Robert said, this was all given before people were ready to receive. And now you are ready to receive. I hope you enjoy this. This is track 8 of the second CD. And I look forward to it. I look forward to working on the transcript. I look forward to listening to Robert in my ear as I type. And last night when I finished this portion, I kept listening. And I can't wait till next week because there are so many more areas that he covers. But this week is very important. He said, everyone says, oh, that's happened to me all the time for years. And that is what he was talking about then. It was some complaint or other. And Robert said, all you got to do is stop. It doesn't happen to you. You do it yourself. That's huge. I've been hearing that for many, many years. I think it's taken root. The only reason you do it yourself is because previously you weren't infinite trust. So you got the explanation for everything in all those 2 words. And I must have said it 40,000 different ways. But that is just to fill all the gaps. It doesn't matter where you look from. There it is. And there is nothing that you could ever call wrong or inconvenient or against your expectation because you haven't got any. You used to have expectations. In the middle of all of this is the fire that drives you. Don't lose track of that. You need it, and let it rise and let it excite you. And as I talk about it, you can feel it rise. It's an endless fire that we all have that can take us anywhere. Now, I'll just let it come back down again because I don't want to overdrive that yet. I'll just gradually go in and out of that every now and then because that's what you're going to walk away with. Why I have just come back from it a little bit is because if I push it too hard, too quick, you'll lose the focus that keeps it there. The focus that keeps it there is infinite trust. And many of you know that if you're really fired up and everything's going magic, you lose the connection with everything. The next thing, you're off on a tangent doing all sorts of things. And if you're really fired up and everything's really going well, you lose track and you start going off at a tangent, and all of a sudden you're at the end of the string and everything starts going wrong because you lost that infinite trust safety because of the fire. So that's just like skiing down the hill and deciding to not bother turning. Lots of laughter. So the precision is what comes next. And it's that precision I talk about of an ice skater. There's only one spot over the ice skate that works. It's never the same. And as you turn, it changes. Last got in this want is never the same measure. Turning, it changes. It moves, and you know exactly what to do. You don't ask. There is no question. There is not even opinion that only one that works. It's only one that works. So the fire that really makes you go is also the fire that keeps it precise. That's a little bit of something that the body needs to get used to because it loves to get all floppy and out of order. If you focus on the fire, it's not qualified and it will burn wild. Now I want to go back to the initial bit. And so that you don't have to do anything, just know that that's how it works. And that goes straight into that program that holds the infinite trust, or what infinite trust holds. So we've spoken about the precision. It's now in there because we stated it. Now you can have as much fire as you like, and it won't get out of line and will be smooth, exciting, and endless. It's quite different now, isn't it? You feel the potential of it, but it's not burning wild. But you know the second that we allow it to rise, you can feel it. Good. It's quite different now, isn't it? That's the drive that stays with you always, because you know its precision, you know it's already in the infinite trust, and you don't even have to think about switching it on. And now we've completed the cycle that you needed to allow your regeneration, because it's the fire and the precision of the fire that you call activated in your base chakra. We are activating it in the universal self. Your body will follow. Feel the sudden calmness when we said that. Your body will follow. And it knows it's going to. It's an amazing calmness comes within the body when it knows you speak the truth. That's the basis of reflexology. It is a very smart piece of gear. It has abilities that are probably about close to 1 trillion times more than what we use. And we're going to use it all in the next year. And it didn't shock any of you. Not one of you. So you all know that, and in using the capacity that you have just in the physical world, everything is easy. That's why when I spoke about $1 trillion, you said, that sounds about right, because that's the level that balances everything. We are all much, much, much more, not even what we could imagine. We are much, much more than in this consciousness. And that's just the physical part of us, let alone the universal part of us. And the more I can get over to you about that capability, the calmer you become. Thank you, Robert. And as I said before, I can't wait till next week because the next portion is as exciting. Yeah, you'll hear Robert address many different areas: food, grief, and other life events, all buoyed up and carried with love to you. Now, I could sit here forever with you. I feel each and every one of you all over the globe. Now it is my honor to invite you to a very special celebration. Many thousands of years ago, there was a great hall that was made for a special occasion. In this hall, there would come a day when a multitude of majestic beings would all come together to celebrate you. In attendance would be all the ascended masters, including Jesus, Buddha, and Krishna, all the known and unknown angels and archangels, and a host of enlightened light beings. At the podium, there would be two who came to oversee this magnificent event. Their names are not important, but you must know that they are always with you. This event was formal, yet informal. Even as everyone was dressed in gowns and black tie, there was also a choir of angels and an orchestra filled with the greatest musicians ever assembled. The hall had been converted into a great ballroom, and the floor sparkled with the brilliant reflection of never-before-seen crystals. As the two stood on the podium and talked, you could feel the beauty, the honor, and the love that filled this hall. This energy of the two filled the hall with a relaxed and informal feel as all the assembled beings spoke with each other and reconnected with those they had not been with in quite some time. The mood was one of celebration. Then, all of a sudden, the massive doors of the great hall opened, and there you stood, dressed in the most beautiful array of clothing. The light around you was immense, and as you begin to walk in, everything stopped. and everyone turned and looked at you. All beings present that day turned to you and bowed with an honor and respect that you could have never imagined. You walked to the center of the room and stood before the two who also bowed. And without words transmitted, welcome home. The choir of angels begins to sing your name, and the assembled beings continue to transmit an honor and gratitude that could be felt by all. The orchestra began to play your song, the song that you brought with you from your origin. And then your partner appeared, magnificently attired, and they held your hand. And the two said, "Please dance your dance. Please share your gifts with us and the world, for that is why you came." And you danced with your partner to your song, and you knew you were home. Yes, this happened to me, and as I write these words with tears rolling down my face, I am here to tell you that it also happened to you. Thank you so much for joining me. And there's more. So, until next time, we wish you a perfect life, perfect health, and a magic future. Thank you.